The 1992 Air UK Elizabeth to New Pence coin is one of those rare treasures that makes the heart of every collector race with excitement. Imagine a coin so familiar, a coin so ordinary in appearance that millions of people used it daily, without a second thought. The idea that such extraordinary value could be hiding in plain sight, in old jars of coins or forgotten collections, is the kind of story that grips collectors and ordinary people alike. This is the kind of discovery that feels almost like winning the lottery. And it keeps numismatists constantly searching, because you never know when one of these rare errors might reveal itself. To understand why the 1992 era UK Elizabeth II New Pence coin is so valuable, we must first step into the history of decimalization and the changes in British currency. The 2 pence coin was first introduced in 1971, at the dawn of decimalization, and for years it carried the inscription New Pence on the reverse to distinguish it from the old pre-decimal coins. But by the 1980s, the phrase New Pence was already beginning to feel outdated. In 1982, the Royal Mint officially replaced New Pence with the simpler wording to pence. From that point forward, every new coin bore the modern wording. But somehow, in a few rare and extraordinary cases, at auction, these coins have been known to sell for figures that rival some of the most valuable British coins of the modern age. Prices commonly range from £30,000 to £34,000, depending on condition, and some examples in pristine uncirculated state have reached as much as £38,000. To put that in perspective, that's a life-changing sum of money for a coin most people would overlook. And what makes it even more astonishing is that these coins are not ancient rarities, they are modern errors, struck just over 3 decades ago, which means they could still be hiding in ordinary collections. Collectors know that the grade of a coin plays a huge role in determining its value. A circulated 1992 Elizabeth II New Pence error coin might show signs of wear, scratches, or fading detail, but it will still attract enormous attention because of its rarity. However, if the coin is found in uncirculated condition, with sharp details and lustrous copper plating, its value skyrockets. Authentication is also critical, because with such high values, collectors need certainty that the coin is genuine. Professional grading services provide that assurance, encasing the coin in a protective holder and giving it a certified grade. Once authenticated, these coins become prized trophies that command staggering sums whenever they appear on the market. Stories of how these coins are found add to the excitement. Some have been discovered in old collections, tucked away by people who had no idea of their true value. Others have surfaced at car boot sales or flea markets, bought for pennies and later sold for tens of thousands of pounds. The 1979 era UK Elizabeth to New Pence coin is one of those breathtaking discoveries in British numismatics that has left collectors stunned and fascinated for decades. Imagine a small, everyday coin, struck in the millions, suddenly turning out to be a hidden treasure. That's the kind of life-changing find that sparks excitement, because it means that what looks like an ordinary piece of copper could secretly be one of the rarest decimal error coins ever made. Just the thought of such value hiding in plain sight. To understand why the 1979 era UK Elizabeth II New Pence coin is so valuable, we first have to step back and look at its history. Decimalization had begun in 1971, changing Britain's centuries-old currency system into the modern decimal format. For years after 1971, the coins struck in the United Kingdom carried the inscription New Pence on their reverse to help distinguish the decimal issues from the old pre-decimal pennies. The 2 pence coin, introduced as part of this new system. Some of the most famous errors from the 1979 Elizabeth II New Pence coin include off-center strikes, where part of the Queen's portrait or the Prince of Wales crest is missing or shifted dramatically to one side. These kinds of mistakes are instantly noticeable, and collectors pay thousands for them. Even rarer are double strikes, where the coin was struck twice with a slight shift in position, creating a ghostly overlapping image. These errors make the coin look almost surreal, with 2 partial portraits or 2 sets of lettering visible. Misaligned die errors are another possibility, leaving parts of the design faint, missing, or warped. Then there are the spectacular wrong planchette errors, where a 1979 2 pence coin was accidentally. When we talk about values, the numbers attached to the 1979 Elizabeth II New Pence error coin are staggering. Ordinary examples of the coin, in circulated condition, are worth little more than face value, perhaps a few pounds to someone completing a decimal coin collection. But the error coins are a different story altogether. A dramatic MIS strike or off-center error can easily sell for between £20,000 and £25,000 at auction. Coins with multiple errors, such as an off-center strike combined with a double strike, can climb even higher. The true crown of the 1979 series, though, are the wrong planchet errors. If you were to find a coin stuck on the wrong metal blank, say, a 2-pence design mistakenly impressed onto a 1-pence copper planchet, you'd be looking at an extraordinary rarity. Such pieces have been known to sell for upwards of £28,000 because they combine both historical significance and visual shock value that collectors simply cannot resist. The 1971-era UK Elizabeth to new pence coin is one of those hidden treasures that often slips past even seasoned collectors, yet when discovered, it can cause jaws to drop and wallets to open wide. Imagine holding a small coin in your hand. One that millions of people used in everyday life, yet somehow, a few of them, just a handful, contain mistakes so rare that they can fetch staggering amounts of money. Might have one of these sitting in an old coin jar, tucked away in a forgotten drawer. That's the kind of story that makes collectors and everyday people alike sit on the edge of their seats, because it proves that true treasure can sometimes hide in plain sight. The story of the 1971 Elizabeth II new pence coin begins with a major transformation in British currency. This was the year when the United Kingdom officially embraced decimalization, leaving behind the old system of pounds, shillings, and pence, and introducing the brand new decimal coins that we know today. The 2-pence coin was born in this transition, and it carried the inscription "New Pence" on its reverse side. This inscription was meant to clearly indicate that these were part of the new decimal system, so that the public would not confuse them with the pre-decimal coins that had circulated for centuries. Millions of these coins were struck, and at first glance, they all seemed alike. But as every coin collector knows, it is in the small details that fortunes can be made. Values for these rare 1971 Elizabeth II new pence era coins are astonishing. Standard coins in circulated condition may only be worth their face value, maybe a few pence to collectors building basic decimal sets. But an error coin, especially one in good condition, can reach prices that shock even seasoned dealers. MIS-struck or off-center examples can command thousands, often between £7,000 and £10,000, depending on the severity of the error and the coin's condition. Double-struck examples can go higher, with particularly dramatic ones climbing toward that incredible £15,000 mark. Wrong planchet errors are the crown jewels of the series, often pushing prices past the £10,000 threshold because they combine historical significance with extreme rarity. These aren't coins that just anyone has tucked away. They're the elite outliers, the miracles of minting mistakes. To fully appreciate the value, one must also understand the grading system. A coin's condition plays a massive role in determining its worth. A heavily circulated coin with scratches, dents, and fading detail may still fetch attention if the error is significant, but an uncirculated or proof-like error can skyrocket in price. Imagine a crisp, mint red copper 1971 error coin with sharp details and a bold, striking mistake. Such a coin wouldn't just attract collectors, it would become a centerpiece in any high-level collection, a showpiece worthy of display. The 1993-era UK Elizabeth to new pence coin is one of those discoveries that makes the numismatic world stop and stare in disbelief. Imagine holding a small copper coin in your hand, the kind millions of people once used without a second thought, and realizing that this little piece of metal such value could be hiding in plain sight, tucked away in an old jar of coins, a forgotten piggy bank, or a dusty family collection, is enough to send chills of excitement down the spine of any collector. This is the magic of coin collecting, the possibility that an extraordinary treasure could be hiding in the most ordinary of places. And that's why the 1993-era coin has become legendary. To understand why the 1993-era UK Elizabeth II new pence coin is so important, we need to step back into the history of British currency. In 1971, when the United Kingdom embraced decimalization, the new system of money was born. The 2-pence coin was part of that transformation, and it carried the inscription "New Pence" on its reverse side for over a decade. The purpose was simple: to remind the public that these were part of the new decimal currency, and not the old pennies of the pre-decimal system. But after 1982, the wording changed. From that point on, the 2-pence coin carried the inscription "to pence." When it comes to value, the numbers are almost hard to believe. An ordinary 1993 2-pence coin is worth exactly its face value. Just 2 pence, even in brilliant, uncirculated condition. It might fetch only a few pounds to a collector. But the error version with the new pence inscription is worth a fortune. Depending on condition and rarity, these coins have sold for staggering amounts. Prices often range between £40,000 to £1,000 and £46,000. And the finest known examples can soar toward £49,000. That's not just valuable, that's life-changing. It means that a coin people once spent, without thinking, could now be worth more than most people's annual salary. The stories of how these coins are discovered are almost as exciting as the coins themselves. Some have been found in old tins of change, forgotten for years. Others have been spotted at car boot sales or flea markets, where unsuspecting sellers offered them for pennies. Imagine the thrill of paying a couple of pounds for a coin, only to discover it's worth 40 to 1,000 pounds or more. That's the kind of story that fuels collectors' imaginations and keeps them searching tirelessly. It's the possibility of a life-changing discovery that keeps the legend alive. The 1993 era UK Elizabeth II new pence coin is not just a piece of currency. It is a story, a mystery, and a fortune all wrapped into one. It proves that even in the modern age, when coins are struck with precision and consistency, extraordinary mistakes can still happen. And it shows us that the dream of hidden treasure is very much alive. The 1994 era UK Elizabeth II new pence coin is one of those jaw-dropping rarities that every collector dreams about, but very few will ever see in their lifetime. Imagine sifting through a box of old change, or checking the coins in a family collection, and suddenly realizing that one of those small copper pieces isn't worth 2 pence at all, but tens of thousands of pounds. Thinking about it gives collectors goosebumps. That is the magic of numismatics, the chance that hidden treasures are still out there, waiting to be discovered, and the 1994 era coin is one of the most electrifying examples of that possibility. To understand why this coin is so special, we need to remember the story of decimalization in Britain, back in 1971. When the United Kingdom made the big shift to a decimal currency system, the 2 pence coin was introduced as part of the new family of coins. In order to help the public get used to the new system, the wording on the coins reverse read new pence. This was a clear reminder that these were new decimal coins, not the old pre-decimal pennies people had used for centuries. For more than a decade, from 1971 until 1981, all 2 pence coins carried the new pence inscription. The value of the 1994 era UK Elizabeth II new pence coin is almost hard to believe. An ordinary 1994 2 pence coin is worth virtually nothing beyond its face value, just 2 pence, even in uncirculated condition. It would normally be worth only a couple of pounds to a collector. But the era version changes everything. With the new pence wording, the value skyrockets into a completely different realm. These coins have been valued at between £55,000 and £58,000, with the finest examples reaching up to £60,000. That's more than many people's annual income, more than the cost of a luxury car, and more than enough to change someone's life. Condition is always critical when it comes to rare coins. A heavily worn 1994 Elizabeth II new pence era coin would still command attention and high prices simply because of its rarity. But the best preserved examples, those with sharp details, full luster, and minimal marks, are the ones that break records at auction. Collectors are willing to pay extraordinary sums for coins that are in near mint condition, and that's why professional grading and authentication are so important. With values this high, no one is going to take chances. Coins like this are carefully examined by experts, graded for condition, and then sold to eager buyers who understand just how rare they truly are. Part of what makes this coin so fascinating is the timing. In 1983, a small number of 2 pence coins with the new pence inscription were struck, and they already fetch incredible prices, but by 1994, the decimal system had been in place for more than 2 decades. The idea that a new pence coin could appear so long after the change is astonishing. It shows just how rare and unpredictable minting errors can be. For collectors, the 1995 era UK Elizabeth II new pence coin. Imagine holding a small copper-plated coin in your hand, a piece so ordinary in appearance yet so extraordinary in value that it could change your entire life. A coin so rare and so mysterious that when it appears at auction, collectors fight tooth and nail to own it. This is not just another British coin. This is the legendary, one of the most fascinating and valuable mistakes ever to slip out of the Royal Mint. And believe me, when I tell you the shocking truth behind its history, the rare error that made it famous, and the staggering value collectors. 1995 era UK Elizabeth II new pence coin. To truly understand why this coin is worth so much, we first need to look back at the history of the new pence. When Britain decimalized its currency in 1971, the 2 new pence coin was introduced with the word new pence on the reverse side to distinguish it from the old pre-decimal pennies. For nearly a decade, from 1971 to 1981, the phrase new pence appeared proudly on the coin. But in 1982, something changed. The word new was dropped, leaving simply 2 pence. This meant that after 1982, Coin struck should only have displayed to pence. That was the new design, the corrected format, the standard that carried forward for decades. But here's where things take an incredible twist. 1995 era UK Elizabeth II new pence coin. At auctions, when one of these rare coins appears, collectors go into a frenzy. In recent years, prices have been recorded at astonishing levels. One example sold for a life-changing amount of money, and valuations today estimate that a genuine 1995 new pence era coin can fetch anywhere from £64,000 to £68,000, and if two serious bidders want it badly enough, it could easily climb to £70,000 or beyond. Think about that for a moment. A coin with a face value of just 2 pence, a coin you could once find in your pocket change, now worth as much as a luxury car, a deposit for a house, or even a year's salary for many people. That's the breathtaking reality of this era coin. 1995 era UK Elizabeth II new pence coin. Part of what makes this coin so fascinating is the mystery surrounding it. Unlike widely known error issues, this one slipped almost silently into circulation. There are no official mintage figures, no public acknowledgement from the Royal Mint, and no clear explanation as to why such an error happened in 1995 of all years. This air of secrecy only adds to the coin's allure. Collectors love a good story, and this coin carries a story like no other, a story of a past design resurrected by mistake, a story of rarity born in silence, a story that has captivated the numismatic world. 1995 era UK Elizabeth II new pence coin. Let's talk about identification. How can someone tell if they have one of these legendary coins? The first giveaway is the wording on the reverse. The 1996 era UK Elizabeth II new pence coin. Imagine stumbling across a small, copper-plated coin in your change, a coin so unassuming you'd barely give it a second glance. But what if I told you that this ordinary-looking piece of money could actually be worth a fortune? Not just hundreds or thousands of pounds, but an eye-watering one of the rarest and most mysterious decimal coins ever to leave the Royal Mint. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to take you on a journey into its history, its rarity, and the shocking value that has made it legendary. So buckle up, because this is one story you'll want to hear to the very end. 1996 era UK Elizabeth II new pence coin. To truly grasp why this tiny coin carries such jaw-dropping value, we need to rewind to 1971. That was the year Britain officially decimalized its currency, saying goodbye to the complex system of shillings and pence, and introducing new coins designed for modern use. Among them was the 2 pence coin, which for its first decade proudly bore the inscription "New Pence" on its reverse. This wording was intended to differentiate the new decimal coins from the old system, but by 1982, the word "new" was dropped, leaving the coin simply labeled as 2 pence. That was the standard design from then on, and the Royal Mint had no reason ever to go back. Or so it seemed. 1996 era UK Elizabeth II new pence coin. What makes this coin truly extraordinary is its combination of extreme rarity and undeniable error. We're not talking about thousands or even hundreds of examples. Experts believe that fewer than a dozen exist, and only a handful have ever been verified. That means we're dealing with a coin so scarce that most collectors will never even see one in person, let alone own one. And in numismatics, rarity is everything. The fewer examples known, the higher the demand, and the more astronomical the value. 1996 era UK Elizabeth II new pence coin. When one of these elusive pieces surfaces at auction, the reaction is nothing short of electrifying. Collectors with deep pockets know they may never get another chance, and bidding wars erupt. That's why today, the 1996 era UK Elizabeth II new pence coin is valued at staggering amounts. We're talking £73,000 at the low end, £77,000 for a strong example, and for the right coin in excellent condition, even £80,000 or more. Just think about that. A coin with a face value of just 2 pence, transformed into a treasure worth more than a year's salary, a luxury car, or a deposit on a dream home. It's enough to make anyone look twice at their spare change. 1996 era UK Elizabeth II new pence coin. The rarity of this coin has also made it a kind of holy grail among British decimal collectors. For those who already own the more common but still valuable 1983 new pence error, the 1996 version is the ultimate prize.